Welcome to the FRC Top 25 for Week 4. We got a fresh batch of 25 teams that's voted on by all of you in the FRC community. And we'll find out who made it into the top 25. Of course, we'll also show the top 26 through 50, talk about some of our snubs as well, too. Debut clips of the week and have some healthy debates on whether teams should maybe be in the top 25 or not. Let's get ready for another great show of the FRC Top 25. This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. If your team is using SolidWorks, make sure you log into the 3D Experience platform to gain access to tutorials, collaborate with other users, and download the charge-up field and kit-up parts. Go to solidworks.com/first and click on Log into 3D Experience platform to gain access. FRC competition season is here. Submit your favorite moments to FRC Clips of the Week by each Sunday at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow. Also, the FRC Top 25 poll is open Sunday 5 p.m. Eastern to Monday 5 p.m. Eastern, where you can vote for your top 25 teams of the week at firstupdatesnow.com/FRC Top 25. Welcome to the FRC Top 25 for week number 4 for First Updates Now. I'm Tyler Olds.
I'm Christina Tia.
I'm Mike Stark.
And I'm Justin Montoy. So a little week 4 discussion. 125, Christine's team had a little double gold cling bling. My team was able to win early in the week. Tower was in Wisconsin. Tower, what did you see in Wisconsin times 2?
So Wisconsin. So I was at Wisconsin, and then it was called the Minnesota North Star Regional, but in Wisconsin due to a venue change on it. So mostly Minnesota crew for that. This is events number 9 and 10 or some 8 and 9 for me going in for it. Looking at the game, it just seems to continue to evolve, I think, in a pretty positive way. We saw looking at Hawaii and looking at Sacramento, we saw full grids twice this week. I thought it was really exciting. Not a perfect score yet, but getting there pretty close. So it was a great time at the couple events. I didn't spend as much time at North Star just due to some snow being forecasted. Weirdly, in the state of Wisconsin, it literally split in half. And half the state got over a foot of snow, and the other half got 0 snow. So it was very strange. But got to meet some great people, interviewed some great teams. We already have a couple coming out recently, and just shout out to some of our friends and fans that had a fantastic week this week. So, Christine, double cling bling for your team this week in 125. Congratulations! And anything to add from your team's performance this week?
Thank you. Number 1. Number 2, did not expect at all cling bling by any means, at least on the award side. That was a huge shock to a lot of new students that had put in a lot of work. So that was really awesome. Shout out. We have a lot of alumni that came back to help make that happen. But overall, it was a really great event. It's a really difficult event for us because we have to run it and have our team there competing. It was a really well-rounded event. There was a great showing of teams from New England. The energy was really good at the event, but I will say we have a really young drive team this year, and even I noticed them just kind of getting more confident as the event went on. And I really think it was a lot of the teams that were there that were interacting with them and just being a really good positive influence on them. So shout out to everybody that's at the Greater Boston District event. We had a great time, and we appreciate everybody that came and made it a really good experience for everybody. But yeah, overall, pretty great way to round out district events for our district champs. So
absolutely. Justin, Long Island, by the way, feels like forever ago from now for it, but congratulations on a win. I know there's been a lot of chat in the community on that event. I guess you got the platform here, man. Anything you want to say or add from before?
So I do apologize for my poor audio quality. That is a bummer. And certainly, as far as Long Island 1 goes, after the event, I'm talking about first, 15, 20 minutes after the score was announced, I had heard rumblings that maybe there was a incorrect score. We didn't really hear anything about it more seriously than that until we started reading the Chief Delphi thread on the way home, obviously. If anyone had approached us, I was listening to a recap last night about it. If anyone had approached us from the event and said, hey, this happened, would you guys be interested in a replay? We would have said absolutely yes. We had no idea that it had occurred, especially to the extent that it did, and the obviousness of the call. So it was definitely unfortunate, but it is what it is. Like I said in my Chief Delphi thread, in my FC career, I played almost 1,000 matches at this point. Sometimes things go your way, sometimes they don't. We've been on the bad side of a call. We happen to be on the other side of it this time, but keep playing, keep pushing forward, and the cards will break your way sometimes, for sure. So we're happy to get the win, and we're happy to try again in Tech Valley this week.
Yeah, congratulations, man, on the win. 30-15 looked awesome on the field as well, too, and I can't wait to see how you continually improve throughout the way. Mike, you're in Florida now, man. Have you made it to a Florida regional?
I have not yet. We are in Florida. My wife got a travel job down here. We are in the process of actually buying a home down here as well. So last few weeks have been pretty crazy for me. Hopefully are closing on Thursday, which is exciting. So busy week, but excited to be back. I have missed you all the last several weeks, lots of traveling and lots of other things going on. So I'm kind of approaching top 25 tonight with some fresh eyes. Admittedly, I've not watched a lot of matches this year. So kind of seeing these teams come in and doing the research for them and watching it. It's kind of cool, and it's really exciting, and I'm excited to kind of see these next few weeks leading up to championship as well. So nice.
Yeah, Mike, we're excited to have you back, by the way, too, man. It's always great to have you on. So, hey, before we get into the FRC top 25, let's talk about, of course, the stats. I know we're in week 4, but we always have new people joining us each week. So you're going to see a whole bunch of stats on screen that come up. Of course, the community vote is the vote that we go off of on there. So thank you, community, for another great week of voting as well, too. We're going to see some extra stats, so called EPA, or expected points added. This is a stat created by Statbotics.io using live updating data to find actionable insights and to analyze historical trends. So you're going to see a few numbers. You're going to see the EPA, which is the total, and then it's going to break it down by their auto, teleop, and endgame score for that as well. Just more data points for you. Statbox will be the first ones to tell you that it's not a substitute for scouting or anything like that, but it kind of gives you just a little more of the flavor of how a team did for the week. And sometimes you'll see that teams are ranked higher with lower EPAs, vice versa for things. Sometimes it's based on their region as well, too. But regardless, we'll show you those stats, and you can interpret the results as you'd like to as well. So just a real quick note, ISR DCMP and Long Island 1 was considered for week 4. They're technically through first a week 3 event. And then the first Turkey event, which I think was Persephorus, I think it's going on right now, that will be a week 5 voting consideration as well. So we do have, as mentioned, 25 fantastic teams to jump into, and I can't wait to showcase them all. They're really, I mean, the list every single week, there's always going to be teams that should be higher, should be lower, and every opinion's subjective for that anyways, right? So we can't wait to find out who the first ones are going to be. Let's over to Mike to find out who our number 25 team is going to be this week.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see if I can remember how this goes, right? So leading us off in the 25th spot is team 3357 from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Forest Hills School District. It's the Comets with an overall record of 42-11. They were the winners in the Calvin and West Michigan district events. So with the schedule, the Comets have had so far. Week 1 at Calvin, they were winners. Week 3, semifinalists at Muskegon. And most recently, this past weekend at West Michigan. They would take that number 1 seed with the 3.5 ranking score average. Would take the win, even having to go to 3 finals matches there in the finals. They have a really nice 3-piece auto, and they can take cones from. So, see, I told you I didn't watch. I haven't watched much matches. What's the human player called with the ramp that the cone can go down? I just called it the rampy thing, but not sure if there's an official name for that.
Is it loading station for that one? I'm trying to remember. I was confused. I was confused. Loading station, substation. Yeah, loading station. I'll take what Christine said.
There you go. Loading station.
Actually, don't take my word for it.
So they had
shoot door.
So 2 event wins for the Comets, and they're poised to be a strong competitor of the district championship event in Michigan coming up here. So that is our 25th ranked team 3357.
Just real quick on Comets, in recap and other shows as well, Comets has kind of been a team where we've seen them do really, really well in the beginning of the year. And then, when it comes closer to DCMP, they haven't done as well historically. I'm really excited that Comets has had such a phenomenal event because I think this is their 3rd one now that they played. But this event, they looked really, really good. Repping, of course, the West Coast Drive as well, too. But looking like the team that we expect out of Comets, they seem like they've been able to improve their cycle times even more, which I'm just excited to see. Still, when it comes to like, if they make it to like a Fimstein level or something like that at FimDCMP, it'll be interesting to see. I'm rooting for them, but I'm still, I'm still skeptical on tank drive and how far it can go. But you know what? They're doing it. I think 971 is doing tank as well too. It's still definitely possible to have an elite tier robot this way, and they're showcasing that it definitely can be done.
It's crazy. When it took me a second when you said tank, because it's like it's so far in between these past few years.
Right.
Teams running tank drive. I'm like, tank drive. Oh yeah, tank drive. So, all right. So that was 25th and 3357 the comments. In our 24th spot is team 5895 from Hightstown, New Jersey, and the Peddie School. It's Peddie Robotics with an overall record of 28-7. They were the winners of the H&H and the Seneca District events. So from one 2-win team to another, Peddie Robotics last competed in week 1, where they took the win as the second-ranked team on the number 1 alliance, and they improved this past weekend, taking the number 1 seed with a 3.0 ranking score average. I would kind of describe Peddie Robotics as steady. They're not necessarily the flashiest, quickest robot out there, but they're getting the job done, and they're doing it very well at that. So Peddie Robotics has those 2 district wins. There'll be a district championship event coming up here in the Mar district. And I found that it's crazy. Already 25 and 24th ranked teams, 2-win teams.
Yeah.
So it's going to be kind of a theme, at least with the 10 teams that I'm doing tonight. There's quite a bit of teams in this top 25 that already have 2 wins on the season, which I know there's just so many more events, in today's day of robotics here, but it's just astounding to me. So I'm going to try to keep a side count. If you want to keep a side count in the chat for me, that would be great. But so far, 2 2-win teams, which is unbelievable. Well, as
Actually,
you see, go ahead.
I actually have a few 3-win teams.
Yeah, that's
but,
crazy.
Yeah,
I
teams
just
are playing
can't
a lot.
It's wild how much teams are playing, which is absolutely great. Which is why I always feel bad for teams that come and play 9 matches and go home, don't even play a single. Like that's just crazy. So that's for another night. But moving on to our 23rd ranked team, that's going to be team 133 from Standish, Maine, and Bonnie Eagle High School. It's B.E.R.T. With an overall record of 27-6-2, they were the winners this past weekend at the UNH district event in New England. So way back in week 1, B.E.R.T. took the number 1 seed at the North Shore event, but came up just close, losing match 3 in the finals by only 4 points. Looking to bounce back, they would finish second this past weekend and be selected number 1 overall by 63-29. This alliance would not score less than 161 points in their 5 playoff matches. B.E.R.T. Swerve helps them run efficient cycles through defense, and I just love how their whole upper part of the robot kind of tips and goes back and forth to score, not just kind of a part of it or the upper part, just from the really down low, just really tips. I thought that was really cool. So congrats to 133 B.E.R.T. and good luck the rest of the way. I believe last week they were 25th, so kind of hanging out up here in this 20 to 25 range.
Well, and a couple of comments just on that. Last week, we were actually pretty hard on B.E.R.T. For where there was, because we didn't feel like their performance was quite as representative what it was. I will say this week, definite improvement from B.E.R.T. Kind of the same thing with COMETS, just better cycle times that I'm seeing out of them. So excited to see them in this area. You can see that they have a nice pickup as they go. I really just like their overall stability on the field so far. So B.E.R.T., in my opinion, this is a very well-deserved spot. I thought their performance this week was much better. So congratulations to them. Really excited to see how they were able to improve in this one. By the way, shout out to Connor McBride, who's game announcing down there on the field.
Nice, Connor. Okay, moving on to our 22nd ranked team. That's going to be 27-67 from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and Kalamazoo County 4-H. It's Stryke Force. They have an overall record of 30-6, and they were the winners of the Lakeview number 2 district event. So back in week 1, they would finish 3rd overall at the St. Joe's event and be selected to the number 1 alliance, but would fall just short in finals match 3 to the 3rd ranked alliance. This past week, Stryke Force would take that number 1 seed with a 3.25 ranking score average and would only need those 5 matches, staying in that upper bracket to seal the win. Finals match 2, they would lose their 3rd robot being tipped over with about 90 seconds left. So they played quite a bit of their match with their robot, with one of the robots out. but they just powered through it with 43-81, still running their cycles as well, and just an insane defensive play at the end from 27-67 to really prevent some last-minute scoring and balancing the Blue Alliance. And then Stryke Force would come back and kind of sneak up for a double balance as well on their own. So check out that finals match number 2, and we're showing it right here on the screen as well for some exciting gameplay. So congratulations to Stryke Force so far on their success this season, and good luck as they continue on at district championships.
I do think Stryke Force may have suffered a little bit because Lakeview 2 ended on Monday, and we did close the voting after Lakeview ended. However, most of the voting was already in by then. So to still have them have this many votes when they competed on a Sunday and Monday, I think is very telling of how good this team is. They probably be about 10 spots higher, I think, otherwise. So, yeah, I mean, we saw that clip. It's going to be on Clips of the Week, too. So if you want to get a replay of it, you'll see it soon. I got to see it in person. I immediately texted Corey, the drive coach, like, wow, man, that was absolutely incredible. This is the play of the year so far. Just big brain plays going on by Stryke Force, and excited to see their team have a vast improvement from St. Joe's just a couple weeks ago.
For sure.
I'm going to repeat the quote that I sent into a chat that somebody had sent this clip to with some fun people. Like, when Stryke Force is good, they are so damn good, and they are on. I'm excited to see where the rest of their season goes. And I think I do agree they should be higher. But I also think that this week there was a lot going on. We had a lot of really high profile teams that made their debut, and some that just picked up even more momentum from their last event. So I think we'll see Stryke Force again in the top 25. Do they have any more events before their district champs?
No, they don't. District champs, yep.
All right, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
Yeah.
They look good though.
For sure. All right. Lastly, in this first group of 5, in our 21st spot is Team 3467 from Windham, New Hampshire, and Windham High School. It's Windham Windup with an overall record of 38-7-3, which I think is crazy to have 3 ties. They were the winners of the Granite State and Greater Boston District events. So, Christine, I'm going to ask about them in a second here. But Windham would take the number 1 seed in their first event and would take the win there. They would finish second in finals match 3 by 4 points. With 133, actually, we already talked about. And this past weekend in Boston, they would finish first with a 3.16 ranking score average and scoop up 125 and 86-26, and would take the win in the 5 matches there in the upper bracket. So congrats to Windham. And like I kind of mentioned, 3 teams already out of 5 with 2 wins, and 34-67 with almost 3 wins by just 4 points there. So, Christine, anything you can add here about 34-67 from this past weekend?
Absolutely. It was so fun watching this robot in person. It is absolutely smooth, and their driver has just gotten better and better as the season has gone. And this is a team that definitely followed the data, picking us. There was an audible ooh for that number 1 kind of first pick, because we were ranked 16th at the end of quals, but they were really looking at data and were really critical of what is going to be the best type of complement to us with the kind of opponents that they would be facing, because there were a lot of high scoring matches, and a lot of teams that they're going to be running into. But Windham had a great second event, and it was a full second event, no snow this time to kind of jerk them up from not being able to play all the quals. But I had a blast watching that robot. I was really excited to see our team play with them. But this is a team that is just consistently good year after year. I think Districts has done a great thing for all teams, but especially a team like this that has so many other neighboring teams nearby. They practice together, they share data, they really learn from each other. But Windham was a really great team for our students to be able to compete with, because they learned a lot from their scouting, and I know that their coding is really spot on, because they are really just critical and looking at a match from every single angle and trying to make the best well-rounded alliance that they possibly can. And they did a great job. They were a lot of fun to play with. I'm really glad they took a chance on us, because we were not looking nearly as strong as we were at previous events. But they had faith in us, and we had a great time playing and winning with them.
Very cool. That was awesome. I mean, that's stuff I didn't know, so that was really cool. Thank you for sharing that. So that does it for the 25 through 21, and Justin's going to take over here, starting with our 20th ranked team.
Hopefully with audio issues that are a little bit better.
Sounds way better.
Whew, let's go. All right. In the 20th spot, I have team 3847 from Houston, Texas. It's Spectrum, 27-10 overall, and with the winners of the Houston District event. So this Open Alliance team started the season with a finalist performance earlier and claimed their first gold medal of the season this past weekend in Houston. They were ranked third and were selected to join the #1 alliance. Spectrum makes quick work of cubes with their awesome shooting mechanism. My favorite is the cube launch atop the charge station. So they'll kind of, through their autonomous mode, they'll park on top of the charge station and shoot a cube at the same time. Excuse me, which is really cool. So an integrated robot overall, it's good from the shelf, it's good from the floor, and it was awesome to see them capture gold this weekend. So good luck to Spectrum as they head to the FIT District Championship. You know, it really kind of hit me as I was writing these that we're kind of close, like to the end of this, middle-ish end of the season. We're talking about district champs. Israel district champs already happened. I feel like the season is like flying by.
Yeah, when I was doing these write-ups, I was like,
March
week
goes on
4.
forever.
I was like, I could have sworn this was like week 3, you know, or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Crazy. Yeah. All right. So congrats to Spectrum in the 20th spot. And then moving on, in 19th spot, I have team 125 from Revere, Massachusetts, Boston Latin, Brookline, and Revere High School. Is this the NUTRONs? 36-11-2 overall. And with the winners, the Mount Olive and Greater Boston District events, where they also picked up the Impact Award for some double gold cling bling. So let's see those emotes, the cling bling, double gold in the chat. So after scooping up a win in FMA earlier this season, 125 was able to capture their first win inside the Northeast District at their home event in Boston. They were ranked 16th after a tough qual schedule, but were the first team taken to join the #1 alliance. They were a juggernaut coming out close to 160 points, or their alliance topped out 160 points on the way to the third blue banner of the season. So good luck to the NUTRONs. They advanced through their charge up season, and luckily we have Christine here. So I think last year you guys skipped New England champs. I'm sorry, I said Northeast.
Yeah.
But you skipped New England champs before. Is that your plan this season, or are you gonna?
No,
what's
so
the
that
rest of your
was
season look
specific to last season. So in order to accommodate teams to be able to get to Houston last year, if you were in this like top bubble of teams that had enough points, you were able to skip so you could ship and like get your things ready. And we were thankful that was like our one goal. Somehow managed to like skip that for the cost saving and everything. But this year it wasn't an option. And we're feeling really good. I know that this event is always a really tough one. We're stretched insanely thin as a team, but we managed to shake off a kind of a not great start to the event. And Saturday afternoon, we really started to hit our stride into Sunday. And again, like cannot thank Windham enough for having faith in us. We definitely were excited to come in with a new intake that definitely works a lot better. I know that the students are eager to hop back into making iterations for district championship, and we're feeling good. I think it was kind of the momentum that we needed going into our district championship because the level of play in New England is just getting like bigger and better as the week goes on, and I think that's true of everywhere else. But yeah, I feel lucky that we are up in the top 25 again. Appreciate the votes, and I know our students do, and we're excited to hit the field at district champs.
Awesome.
The one thing I'll say, I think this is a good spot for 125. I actually thought Windham would end up a little bit higher personally, as well too. Like I said, I think this is a good spot for 125. I was kind of hoping Windham was going to be in the top 15 for things. Both phenomenal teams out there, and Christine, kudos to your team for what just seems like coming from where you were to where you ended up, just great improvement from there.
Yeah, and again, can't thank Windham and their scouts enough for having faith in us being a compliment to their clients and having faith in us working it out. And I just want to give a shout out to the Cyber Sailors real quick. They're from Situate, Massachusetts, which always makes the Weather Channel during hurricane season. But they're a second-year team. They had a swerve. They played really smart, defense, and were really consistent on getting on the charge thingy, whatever the balance ramp is called. This is me being a mic shoot door. But it was.
I think it's called the charge thingy. I think that's what it says in the manual.
Charge thingy.
I think it says charge thingy. One thing, I can talk about it in a second. It'll come up later. I want to move on to the next team here. All right, because they're talking about in the chat. All right, so that was 125 and 19 and 18 spot. I have team 1706 from Wentzville, Missouri. Holt, Liberty, North Point, and Timberland High School. It's just the Ratchet Rockers. 29-6-1 overall, and with winners of the St. Louis Regional. So after winning St. Louis week 2 in 3 tough finals matches, the Ratchet Rockers are once again battling in the playoffs this past weekend in Central Missouri. They were the number 1 seed, and after trading blows with the number 2 seed in match 1 and 2 of the finals, the deciding third match was a battle. 1706 held the advantage for most of the match until some comms issues with 6817 had the Blue Alliance catching up. 6817 briefly came back to life before dying again and could not participate in the end game. A triple balance from the blue against a double balance from red ultimately was the difference. But 1726, I feel so fortunate enough to have Spectrum, who's a great cube shooter, and 1706, which, if you haven't seen it yet, is a really creative cone shooter that they used to great effect. It was really exciting to watch some of their matches. So now their attention turns to the championship, where they look to return back to the Einstein Field for the second straight year. So good luck to Team 1706, the Ratchet Rockers. So I don't know if you guys have seen or watched. This robot is fun to watch with their cone shooting. It's something that we didn't even consider really during our prototyping, but they pulled it off, and it's really, really cool.
We also, I've seen them, and then we actually debuted Behind the Bumpers with another team that was a cone shooter. Not as effective, but still really good as well, too. But, yeah, Ratchet Rockers is a team that, unfortunate circumstances, right, to lose this regional as well. I think this is a team that overall capability-wise, I think it's a higher-ranked team than maybe what it shows, sometimes not winning an event or depending where you compete. I mean, this event only had, I think, Central Missouri only had like 28 teams or something like that at it. It was a very low capacity regional, so sometimes things like that. But Ratchet Rockers is
regional at 28 teams.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I think this was like this was like in a high school too. It's pretty much a district at a regional cost. So I don't know how I feel about that if I was going. Yeah, but but overall, yeah, Ratchet Rockers, fantastic team. Expecting to be a lock or a very, very high contender at champs for sure.
Yeah,
and a constant name up on the top 25.
Yeah, no kidding.
I feel like they're like our fun homie now. Is like we just keep hearing their name. I like it.
For sure. All right, so that was Ratchet Rockers in 18, and in 17 I have Team 359 from Waialua, Hawaii. Waialua High School. It's the Hall of Fame Hawaiian Kids, 38-11 overall, and with the winners of the Canadian Pacific and Hawaii Regionals. But they also picked up the WFFA Award and the Impact Award, winning the rare Triple Crown at the Hawaii Regional. So it's been a wild season for 359, and they finally competed in their home state for the first time. They were ranked 7 after quals and were selected to join the number 2 alliance. They had to beat the number 1 alliance on the upper bracket finals in order to advance, and then would again beat the number 1 alliance twice to earn the win. And the number 1 alliance was no slouch. They were great matches. But 359 benefited from mistake-free play in the finals, even playing calm when their alliance partner fell over in finals match 1, obviously eliminating the possibility of triple balance, but they pulled off the double balance, kept cycling super fast, and were able to overcome that regardless. So 359 looks to continue their winning ways this weekend in Las Vegas, which will be their 4th regional of the season. Mike, for all your two regional teams, this one's a 4. And congrats again on the Triple Crown to Team 359, the Hawaiian Kids.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Hawaiian Kids in Las Vegas this week. There's another team from Hawaii, 4270, that were the number 1 seed at the Hawaii Regional as well too. So very much so looking forward to both those. And big shout out to Raid Zero as well too from Taiwan, taking the event win with Hawaiian Kids.
Yeah, I would really looked. We considered that 971 style arm earlier in the season, and I think Raid Zero really pulled it off great. And I loved watching the finals matches with 359 and Raid Zero, and my friends on Barker Redbacks. Like the finals at Hawaii were awesome to watch for sure.
I'm not gonna lie, that might be the first time I've thought or heard that. Honestly, the Hawaii Regional is typically not one of the more powerful regionals.
You're
but
right.
It really became. I mean, I don't know if it's the weather or what, but it became a huge magnet regional this year for sure.
Yeah, as a team that's in the cold Northeast, we always the Hawaii Regional must be so nice. We always think about going. All right, so the last team in my little cluster here in the 16th spot is team number 694 from New York, Stuyvesant High School. It's StuyPulse, 27-5 overall, like Highpulse, and we're a perfect 15-0 undefeated winners of Long Island Regional number 2. So after a strong finals performance at Midwest, 694 took their machine to Long Island this past weekend. They were the class of the field, besting the next best team by 4 ranking points, a full match worth. Their front to back pass through intake is unique this season, and it helps them score both in autonomous and teleop. They scored over 100 points in 9 of their 10 quals matches and were dominant in the playoffs. It was also awesome to see them team up with their friends 870, Team Rice, and 533 to earn the win. So congrats to my friend Joe Blay and his team's victory, and you can catch 694 in action again week 6 in New York City.
Justin, do you know, did they modify their little like Buddy Klein thing, or were they still using that? I didn't get a chance to watch this time.
So I didn't get to watch many of their matches, and every time I catch them, I don't see them using it.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's still something.
I wondered if that would last.
You said you saw a little bit.
Yeah, I saw it a little bit at Midwest, and I wondered if that was going to last into their next event or not. But yeah, really, I mean, just honestly, design wise, it's a very just simple design that's very effective. And 694, we've highlighted them many times on Behind the Bumpers and stuff. This is a team that I was really excited to see them be able to take what was a super tough Midwest regional and just, that was one of those where teams just got lost in the fray. And I think 694 was one of those initially to come and take this win. I know is something that's very well earned on their end.
Yeah, definitely.
Joe says they did not use it, by the way, in chat.
Good deal.
All right, and I'm going to be picking up at number 15, right, Tyler?
We are.
Cool. All right, so in the number 15 spot, we have Team 1538 from San Diego, California. It's Hall of Fame team, the Holy Cows. They were winners of the San Diego Regional and the Industrial Design Award winners this past weekend, and the Cows are back, baby. They have a slick telescoping arm, quick flick of the wrist, and the Cows cruised their way through the quals, only losing one match, ranking them third, but catching the eye of the number 1 seed. With an average teleop score of 37.4, the Cows swerved around and complemented the offensive the offense served up by their Alliance captain 973 and was a reliable triple engagement with their partners 4419. Congrats to the Cows on the win and the Industrial Design Award, and I can't wait to see them in Houston. I feel like this robot is probably one of their best in a long time. I honestly felt like I was watching them in fast forward when I was watching some of the match videos today and yesterday, and it was crazy. They're just really smooth, really slick. They had a really good 3-piece auto going. I don't know if anybody watched them this weekend.
Yeah, I watched the Cows a couple of weeks ago in their first night, and I knew just watching that, like, this team is going to just completely soar up and just become a much, much better team and get that win that they were waiting for. Holy Cows this year, I agree, Christine. I think this might be their best robot yet. It's been a long time for Holy Cows, honestly. 10 years ago, big name, Holy Cows, right? Like, but they've kind of tapered off, into the late 10s and that sort of thing. But yeah, this year I absolutely love their robot. Phenomenal machine, extremely efficient, and congratulations to them. Really well earned.
They always look good.
I think that was a Moneyball
They always
quote,
work
Tiger.
well, but
It was. Sorry, Christine, go ahead.
oh, it's okay. I was gonna say they always look good. Like, not to knock them at all about not being great in the last few years or last decade or whatever, but they're always good looking. They always show up, but this year something is just clicking, and it's definitely hard to be a standout or good team in California. It's always stacked events, but I'm excited to see that they're doing so well, and I'm excited to see how they do in Houston this year. All right, are we ready to move on to number 14? The number 14 spot, we have Team 870 from Southold Junior and Senior High School in Southold, New York. It is Rice, 26-6 overall, and winners of the Long Island number 2 event. They were coming off an impressive finalist appearance at the Long Island number 1 event, and 870 came swinging for the fences, looking for that first gold of the season. They were picked up by the number 1 seed of 694, StuyPulse, like Highpulse, and capped off their alliance with number 35 ranked team, 533 PSL Robotics. Playing the role of the single substation scorer, they and their alliance were able to cruise through the upper bracket and win the event 2 finals matches pretty handedly. Team 870 also received the Innovation and Control Award, so congrats to 870 Rice so far this season. We'll see them one more time, and then one more time at the World Championship.
Justin, you've had a chance to play with Rice quite a few times in the past. Yeah, talk to me about Team Rice a little bit more.
Yes, I'm very excited that they were able to punch their ticket to the championship. That we were heading into Long Island 1, hoping for an opportunity to play in the playoffs with them. It didn't quite work out, but their robots are always impressive. They're always really solid, well built. They don't really have a lot of mechanical issues. And one of the coolest things I think about the robots, they have this, they call it the horn. So it's like just a simple hook in the front of their robot, and their driver is so talented. Like if there's a cone on the ground, they just kind of get oriented to the bottom part of the cone, and they just hook through right up into their gripper. They go to the human player shelf. They put the horn right on like the shelf of the shoe, and the human player just kind of chucks it right on there. Very unique design. It works really well. And like I said, just really happy for them to earn another ticket to the championship.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of another team kind of using that horn method, at least not around here.
No, it's very unique. It works really well though.
All right, so we're going to be moving on to our number 13 ranked team, and that is team 3683 from Lulu, Ontario. It's Team Dave. Winners of the University of Waterloo District event went 11-1 to rank second at the end of the quals matches. They were picked up by the number 1 seeded 1114, who they started their qualification match schedule off with, oddly enough. Talk about foreshadowing, scoring a casual 156 points to kick off their event, and foreshadow the undefeated run they'd have together in the finals. Team Dave's really quick pickup and fast cycles were really matching and complementing the heck out of 1114. 3683 is currently ranked 3rd in the Ontario District rankings after scooping up 135 total points after 2 great event showings. Good luck at the Ontario Provincial, I can never say that word, Provincial Championships Week 6.
I really like Dave's robot a lot. We talked about them a little bit last week as well too. However, last week not able to take the win. This week they were able to do it, and that's 1114 is a team, obviously legendary team out there. But Dave was, critical to this alliance and making this alliance just completely, honestly, just kind of breeze through the competition as they went through. I mean, their win margins were massive. I think it was over, on average, 60 to 70 points overall. So a lot of that was by their first match where they had like a 100-point margin, but still going to the finals, their first match they won by like 70 points, that sort of thing. So very happy to see Dave continue being awesome on the field, and great to see them just have another great robot once again.
Most definitely. We're moving on to our number 12 ranked team. It is Team 1619 from Longmont, Colorado. It's world champions, Up-A-Creek Robotics. With an overall record of 11-5-0, they were ranked 3rd at the Colorado Regional and winners of the Innovation and Control Award. After a strong Week 2 showing at the Oklahoma Regional, Up-A-Creek took their to their home event this past weekend and had an earlier than expected exit in the semis round 4. The Creekers continued their excellent and speedy scoring throughout the weekend and ended up captaining the second alliance with partners 1410 the Kraken and 3298 Aerobots. The alliance fought hard but were outbalanced in the end game in round 2, which sent them down to the losers bracket. Their round 4 matchup featured the 2 offenses plus 1 defense strategy of 1619's alliance against the triple offense of the number 4 alliance. The offensive power was too much to overcome, and the Creekers were bounced in round 4. Nonetheless, the 1619 machine continues to be world class and is one of the best scoring robots we've seen this season. They now set their eyes on Houston as they look to defend their world championship title.
Yeah, I mean, 1619 is really good still, and sometimes teams do get knocked out early. We talked about that with 118 a couple weeks ago. They got bounced in the semis, and they were able to come back quickly as well, too. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see 1619 looking, as we get into the World Championships, looking like they're going to be a top contender in their division as well, too. So, it sucks sometimes to have that semifinal exit, but this is still a very high tier to near top tier team out there for this year.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. And I will say this new elims or playoff, whatever it's called, this new style is unforgiving. And we see it. We've had it either happen to our team, or you've seen it happen to a team where can wires loose or something.
Yeah.
Something happens at some point during that one match, and it's game over if you've already slipped down to the losers bracket. So I definitely expect to see a lot more just epic powerhouse play at a 1619. yeah, I would say that they definitely are going to be having a great showing at Houston Champs. And yeah, I'm ready to ready to move on to
I
number 11.
wouldn't
It's
pick
been a
against them,
long,
so
long
yeah.
Heads week. Yeah, and it's not to say. I mean, I know that we've seen 118 kind of bounce out, but I do feel like we're 16-19 is just in another class. Like they are absolutely going to crush it at World Champs. Not to say 118's not going to, but anyway, moving on to number 11. We have the legendary team 1114. Hailing from St. Catherine, Ontario, Canada, it's the legendary Hall of Fame team, another Hall of Fame team that I got to introduce, Simbotics. The Simbots brought back their slick scoring double jointed arm to water.
Lou.
I didn't screw it up this time. Looking to bring home their second event win of the year. The small and agile 1114 robot cycles quickly from the human player's shelf, and their clean scoring action makes them highly efficient and accurate in placement. The 1114 machine ended qualifications ranked number 1, unsurprisingly, with a ranking score of 3.50. They chose their fellow top 25er, 3683 Team Dave, and 8764 Thunder Robotics to round out their alliance. The alliance put out a dominant elimination showing, winning all of their elimination matches by at least 40 points. Simbotics are now sitting atop the Ontario district rankings as they start priming up for the Ontario Provincial Championships next weekend. Congrats to Simbotics. I love how simple and just like slick and quick their robot is.
It's great to see, yeah, Simbots here. I mean, obviously there's no need for like introductions to just the amazing robots they've always put out. We've seen, like, I think, a slight dip in the last couple of years, or here and there, or partial, part of the seasons or whatever. But it's so great to see Simbots just performing at this level.
I mean,
it's just something about it.
I'll give all Canadian teams a pass last year because they didn't get to start working until like week 4 of last season. So, yeah, Simbotics coming out very reminiscent of a team pre-COVID of what we expect from them as well too. And just like the counterparts Dave, and then also of course OP, who didn't compete this week but is coming up soon. These are top tier teams, and this year Simbotics I think back in full form and looking to see what they do at DCMP.
Yep, Nick Jr. 33 says 1114 too low. So
yeah, I mean I could see them going up a couple spots. I don't know if I have them necessarily top 5 out of this. I mean, there's some very robust competitors this week coming in, but so I could see them up a few spots.
Yeah, and PJ thinks there's too many ones in that situation, and I would agree.
All right, so as we get, that was number 11, right? Yeah. So as we get into our top 10, a couple things to talk about. We're going to have the clips of the week coming up in just a moment. I'm just going to forewarn, it is a little bit longer clips of the week on there, but we'll still show it on air, and of course we'll be airing. It'll show up on our YouTube channel shortly afterwards. But before we do that, let's give a big shout out and thank you to our friends at SolidWorks. Teams, if you are using SolidWorks, which we hope you are, don't forget SolidWorks is free for all FIRST teams. You can get it at solidworks.com/FIRST, regardless where you have season. I know it's comp season, but you know what? Get ready for the off season. It will come soon enough for you too. Go ahead and get SolidWorks at solidworks.com/FIRST. But if you are using SolidWorks, make sure you go check out the 3D experience dashboard and panels and all the great educational tools. You can showcase all the different robots that you can see on there, as well as different cool stuff from not outside of FIRST or from areas outside of FIRST as well too. So get involved at solidworks.com/FIRST. Click the 3D experience button to get into that and see what's going on all around. You actually can interact with and get advice from professionals in industry and professional people from SolidWorks, and just so to see how they can help you as well too. So go to solidworks.com/FIRST to get involved and start getting it going with SolidWorks. With that said, we have 10 teams left to go. Let's find out who's going to make our top 10 for week 4 FRC Top 25.
Yeah, let's do it. Starting off in our 10th spot is going to be Team 4499 from Fort Collins, Colorado. It's the Highlanders, an overall record of 29-6, and they were the winners of the Utah and Colorado regionals. So more double winners already. Just an insane week for the top 25. Just an incredible week of competition. We always kind of get that meat of the, this is that weeks 3-4, kind of when we see a lot of action year over year. So the Highlanders would take the Utah regional win after an exciting 3 matches. They would lose finals match number 1. They would captain the number 1 alliance. And then they took the field again this past weekend in Colorado. They would finish fourth with a 2.83 ranking score average, but were selected number 1 overall and would take the win there. So 44.99 is a great auto. They might have like kind of one of the thinnest upper manipulators of the season that I've seen in the limited scope that I have seen, but really have done a great job at compacting that design and how they use it. So it's just really fun to watch that robot fly around the field. Their upper mechanical subsystems are just so fast. It's to that almost that point where you think it's like uncontrolled, but it's not. Just very deliberate at what they do. So they have one more regional after their 2 regional wins. They'll be competing again next weekend in Alabama at the Rocket City Regional. So good luck and congratulations to 44.99, the Highlanders.
This team has played second fiddle for so long in Colorado. And to see them come out and take that first win when they were finalists 3 times last year, I believe. And then it might have been 4, actually. I forget if they were also at champs as well, too. But like, to come out and win that one, and then to come into Colorado on their home turf and win that one as well, too. Man, I've been a big fan of Highlanders for a while. I was very, very bullish on this team earlier in the season when we saw the reveal video. And very excited to see this robot's performing to actually, I think, even above expectations level as well, too. So congrats to Highlanders for building an awesome machine this year.
Yeah, it's so slick. I really love it. It's really nice. First pup dates now. Intermission.
Hi, puppy.
Okay. All right. Bye. All right. So moving on to our 9th ranked team, it's going to be Team 67 from Highland, Michigan. That's always so weird to say. Huron Valley Schools. It's the hot team with a stunning overall record of 33 wins, 1 loss. They were the winners of the Milford and Troy #1 district events. So I keep saying it, but just here, another 2-win team already this season through week 4. And after their first win, Hot came back out strong, taking the #1 seed with a 3.5 ranking score average. This robot is insane. Again, you're seeing kind of my reaction for the first time because I have not kind of been up to date with how these teams have been doing up to this point. So I am just like in awe of the Hot machine. I can't wait, Tyler, to see behind the bumpers with this team. I'm assuming you're going to get them when you go up to FIM district championship, but
hopefully,
man, it's like a turret rotating, pivoting, all the above kind of thing that they have going on, and it's just so cool to watch. This obviously was a team submitted video because it's just following Hot around, which was great to watch, but it's just awesome. So us boomers kind of remember when Hot put out robots like this year after year after year after year, that 2003 2000 through 2005 and 6 years. So it's really cool to kind of see just this dominant, awe-inspiring robot that Hot has put out again. So we'll see them at FIM Champs, and I just can't wait to see how they do there. Just be able to see more match videos from Hot. So congratulations to them here at number 9.
Yeah, Hot looks phenomenal. I mean, between them and Robo Jackets this year, man, if both these teams end up on the same division at FIM DCMP, this is going to be lights out. Both these teams looking phenomenal. But Hot in particular, I love just their overall process they go. Their robot's so stable as they go through. I think the only thing I'd like to see out of them, I think they can still actually improve on their cycle times a little bit. When you see them go sometimes, they have to almost kind of line up sometimes. Then their arm comes out, then they score. I really like to see teams that can get a little more fluid in that process for it. So that just means they can go up even higher, in my opinion, for what they are. So congratulations to Hot on a great robot, but I think their ceiling, they still have a little bit more to go for that.
Good deal. All right, so moving on to our 8th ranked team. That's number 6329 from Bucksport, Maine, and Bucksport High School. It's the Bucks Wrath. On overall record, they were the winners of the Rhode Island and the UNH district events in the New England district. So week 1, the #1 seed, 3.25 ranking score average. Week number 4, this last week at UNH, #1 seed again, 3.5 ranking score average. So just love the gameplay from 6329. They're just steady. From at least the couple of matches I watched, there's nothing like something crazy that the robot does, like I was just mentioning about with Hot or something. Just so steady, so smooth at what they do. I love their design. That they have the kind of this whole tilting to score mechanism that we talked about with another team earlier this night. Just so smooth, so accurate. Their gameplay, their win-loss record, and their ranking score averages speak for themselves. So what is their win? I put it in and then I didn't put it in. But anyways, they will be so dominant in New England District Championship. So congrats on an amazing season, and congratulations and good luck the rest of the way to the Bucks Wrath.
32 2-0, by the way. So
Thank you. 32-2-0.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
I mean, Bucks Wrath, I think last year deserved a lot of love and didn't get as much of it. This year, definitely great to see the community really recognizing their accomplishments and what they've been able to do. This is an incredible team, and Bucks Wrath just so. I mean, as we'll kind of say the same thing as we go through many of these teams, right? Just so smooth and fluid in their scoring processes. Congratulations to them on a great machine for it, and Bucks Wrath definitely going to be looking awesome for their DCMP as well too. Their scoring thing is interesting when they go up. So they're essentially they're vertical, and then when they go up to score, their elevator tilts forward for that scoring as well too. I like that actually. Like they seem very stable as they go through that process, able to do it pretty quick as well too with their cycle times. Yeah, great machine.
Yeah. Yep. Love it. All right. Lastly, last team before we get to the top 5, in our 6th spot is team.
We got number 7.
I'm sorry, skipped ahead. Thank you. Lost that. All right, number 7. Our 7th ranked team, good catch, is Team 1690 from Ben Yahmina, Israel. It's Orbit, an overall record of 39-10-1. They were the winners of the number 1 district event and the Israeli district championship this past weekend. Back in week 1, Orbit crushed the event, taking the number 1 seed and just absolutely overwhelming other alliances in the playoffs. Just look at the scores there. At number 3 event, they didn't have as much success, finishing in the semifinals. And this last weekend in Jerusalem at district championship, we saw them battle it out with the best in Israel and would finish 3rd overall with a 3.27 ranking score average. They were selected number 1 overall with Steampunk, and with the help of 5135, would just absolutely outplay everyone else, putting up no less than 169 points in their 5 matches. The 2 finals match scores were 169 to 163, and in match number 2 was 171 to 169. So they had only a difference of 5 points amongst those 2 finals matches. So absolutely wild. Make sure you just kind of check out those matches on Blue Alliance just for a glimpse of kind of what championship could look like. So those are high score. I mean, those are high scores and close scores. So great, heartfelt, back and forth matches. So take a look at those. So my review of Gorbit kind of comes again from watching very minimal play this year. So I know it's old news, but I was not expecting them and didn't know that, because we've already talked about other teams that do this too, of shooting cubes into the grid. So I know that's old news for most of you, but I just thought that's really cool. They can do it from quite a distance. They can do it at any level. And I also love how it doesn't seem like they get most of their cones from that platform, the substation. The human player actually puts it on the ground. The robot go gets it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Don't see that with many of the teams out there that purposefully are going to get them out of the ground from that protected zone. So another year, another amazing robot from Orbit, and congrats and good luck as we'll see them in Houston.
Yeah, just like another team we'll be talking about with 1577, both these teams having good improvements from the last district event, where both of them, neither one of them made the finals, which was just crazy, right? And both these teams, I have to admit, I don't necessarily think they improved that much, so to speak. I think they just had circumstances work out the way that you would expect it to for these teams. Both these teams, and we'll be talking about 1577 in a bit as well too. Both these teams are phenomenal out there. Orbit, obviously, we've talked to them ad nauseum for quite a few weeks now. A great machine for it. Glad to see them run an awesome strategy with 1577 of that shuttle when available sort of thing. You'll see that when 1577 was near the charging station, you kind of see Orbit go the route of then feeding them, and then when they weren't by them, they'd go and actually score themselves. I really like that strategy. Well executed by that to take the Israel DCMP. There's a lot of other great teams from Israel too that may not have made this list. We'll be talking about the 26 through 50 in a little bit as well too, but these are still the 2 best teams from Israel, and it was really cool to see them play together.
Benjamina, he says. Didn't lie and says I did it right. Yeah, absolutely. And those are just some great matches there at the end. All right, finally, our 6th ranked team is going to be 973 from Atascadero, California, and Atascadero High School. It's the Greybots. They have an overall record of 37-8. And they were the winners of the Central Valley and the San Diego Regionals. So the Greybot, another 2-win team. The Greybots started their season in week 1 after an outing after 3 finals matches, but have turned on the Jets since then. After their down in performance at the Central Valley Regional with 13-23 and 66-57, they continued that success and finally secured the number 1 ranking spot after qualification matches with a 3.44 ranking score average. excuse me, 5 matches was all it took, and scoring no less than 147 points and as high as 173, they secured their second win of the season. Just another dominant machine from the Greybots year after year after year. We're seeing that out of this team. Lower profile machine that unfolds as they run their cycle. So it's really fun to watch them kind of tuck in and unfold, go get their game pieces and score them. So they're coming off their Newton division win and Einstein appearance from 2022. So looking to get back to that Einstein stage, and they have a really nice robot that can get them there. So congratulations to them and good luck here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Greybots looked phenomenal. Their first event, not winning the event, it was really tough. We're looking at what their opponents were, but this is a top tier team. Greybots, I love. We talked about their strategy a few weeks ago as well too. I love seeing it. I love seeing their cycles. I just love overall what this team brings to the table. So congratulations, 973, another great, fantastic machine, and can't wait to see you continue at championships.
Mm-hmm. Sure. All right, 5 teams to go, but before we get there, I think we have another giveaway, Tyler, correct? And
we'll
kind of talk about the top 50.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mike. Yep, so we'll be showing off the 26 through 50 in just a little bit, but let's start a giveaway from our friends at AndyMark. AndyMark is just bringing it right now. They are offering multiple giveaways with their packs each week. So they're going to be giving away an Electric Goat t-shirt. So by the way, if you're doing, please make sure you let me know what size you want. They're giving away the AndyMark Goat itself. I know it's a hot commodity out in the community as well too. And then also a sticker pack as well. So type in GOAT in chat right now. That's your opportunity to win. Don't forget, you do need to be following in order to be eligible to win. And we do give our subscribers just a little bit extra luck as well too. We just rig it that way for them. So type in GOAT. We'll draw for that before the show ends after the number 1 team for your opportunity to win this awesome swag pack from AndyMark. And let's go ahead and show our ranks 26 through 50 as well, too. So once again, these are teams that didn't quite make the top 25, but were really close. We'll be talking about some snubs in just a little bit as well. But these are your 26 through 50 ranking teams. I don't know who wants to start first, but any teams that anybody either saw on this list or maybe didn't even make the top 50 that you feel should be in the top 25.
Well, I'm sure chat will let us know because they've been talking about different teams all night. And I'm gonna go with the bias here, and I know it's obvious, but Justin, I think you guys look really good. I know it's an easy pick, right? It is. I'm no lie. I was watching a single 254 match, which we'll talk about obviously here in a few minutes. Comparing you guys with the Poofs, there's some points in the gameplay where I think your robot is performing better. I think overall, obviously, the Poofs are an overall better team, but your cycles, your lineup, your delivery of cubes and cones to the grid is very fast and rivals any team that is in the top 5 here, in my opinion.
It's a hot take, Mike.
Thank you very much for that.
It is. I think overall, I think overall, all parts of their game, they're driving and well, there's I think that'll come up in maybe a clips of the week or was, but there's parts of your gameplay that is really good too. And I don't mean that as slander, or that's more of as an encouragement, because I know you guys, that's what your aim is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess no matter what I say, it's going to sound biased, but sometimes I see a robot score a cone, especially from the grid or from the shelf to the grid, and I'm like, that was insanely fast. Like our scoring, when the point to position is on, it is on. So thank you very much. We're very excited to compete this week. I want to give a shout out to my friends on Barker Redbacks, just missing the list. They were involved, I think, in the first full grid or a full grid match. So I want to give them a shout out. They're very good. 930, just making the list in 50. They are very, very good. So I'm excited to see them in the 50 spot there. I think they could have been a little bit higher. They're very good as well. So
yeah, they got knocked early at their event, but I think that kind of hindered them a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we actually just released a behind the bumpers for them 2 hours ago, so make sure you check that out.
For sure.
Christine, any teams that pop in your head?
I expected to see Barker Redbacks a bit higher, especially after the performance helping out that full grid. But again, like there were just so many outstanding teams, repeat teams that had an even better like second or third showing of an event. So this list is a good one. That not that it's good that they got snubbed, but these teams that are like down here, I'm surprised that your team wasn't higher, Dustin, as well. But I was very surprised to see that your like biggest fangirl team also wasn't hired.
Yes.
A couple teams on my head. I can't believe that Spam is at 33. They I don't know if it's because they were at Tallahassee and maybe people didn't watch them as much or something like that. But Spam has now 2 regional wins, and they've been improving every single event as well too. So I was a little surprised for that as well too. Somebody mentioned in chat as well too the team from Hawaii. What is it? Crusaders. Hugely improved from their first event at Ventura. They were ranked 31st, and they were ranked 1 at Hawaii, and Hawaii was extremely competitive as well too. I'll take one other one from Chad as well. Botbusters coming through, Pet Tech Botbusters, our friends in Mexico with 2 regional wins out of Mexico as well too. Also looked phenomenal. So a lot of, obviously the more teams we get, I mean, there was in this week like 600 teams voted upon, right, at some sort. Even making the top 50 nowadays when over 1,000 teams compete is phenomenal. There's a lot of great teams out there, and congratulations to all the ones who did end up making our top 50 as well too.
Sounds good. So when do you want to do when do you want to do pull for the giveaway?
Roll for the giveaway after after number 1.
All right, sounds good. All right, so I'll take us here into the top 5, starting with Team 118 from Houston, Texas, Clear Creek Independent School District. It's the Robonauts, 45-8 overall, and with winners of the Channel View and Houston District events. So it was an event full of Texas's finest in Houston with 118, 38-47, 1477, 624, and others. When the dust settled, it was 118 that took the top spot. The single-use catapult, which to me is like one of my favorite mechanisms of the entire season, was utilized to full effect, and the Lions featured another cube shooting robot, which I talked about with Spectrum. The pair stumbled a bit in match 7, but rebounded to win out to capture their 3rd blue banner of the season. So they're not close to being done. They have one more district event to still play, and then the district championship, and then the world championship. So really, 118 and Echo is not even halfway through their season yet. But another great robot from 118, a heck of a record, and more blue banners to come certainly for 118.
Yeah, I mean, we had some discussions offline a little bit in regards to 118's placement and spot for that. They definitely have a good robot, and I've kind of gone roller coaster on this team. Right, a few weeks ago I thought they were ranked way too high. A couple weeks ago when they got knocked out early, I thought that actually the robot performed much better than what it did at was it Magnolia as well. And here at Houston, I mean, they did well. Are they number 5? Well, I'm not sure if I'd have them there, but they're still a really good robot overall. So I mean, it's always difficult when you look at Robonauts. I always feel like everybody's very overly critical, myself included, sometimes with teams like this, because we expect excellence, right? Yeah. It's the Robonauts. So, I always try to take this like the best I can with something like this. Where did I have them a little bit lower? Yeah, I did. Also, I don't vote. So for me, it comes down to it's a great team, and do I think they're going to continually improve? Absolutely. Last week we identified the P word. Potential is the word that we use as the the filler word for teams where we're like, oh, maybe they could be a little bit better than what they are. Robonauts has a lot more potential, I think, coming as well.
For sure. All right, that was 118. In the 4th spot, I have Team 2910 from Mill Creek, Washington, Henry Jackson High School. It's Jack in the Bot, 48-5 overall, and we're the winners of the Glacier Peak, Sun Dome, and Sammamish District events. So 3 events and 3 banners from one of my favorite robots of the season. They've only been the number 1 seed in all 3 of their events, and their low-fast robot remains one of the best in the world. This past weekend from the top spot, they created an alliance with 58-27 and 74-61, and the alliance was absolutely lights out. They never scored less than 150 points throughout the playoffs. I think that this team has pushed the ceiling of what's going on and charged up so far this season, and no doubt they're excited to hit the field at the Pacific Northwest Championship, certainly, but they might have an eye on the Einstein field as well. So congrats on a perfect district event schedule for Jack in the Bot 2910. So I'm not ashamed to say they are my favorite robot of the season. It seems incredibly fast watching it. It's the low CG is super beneficial. And they're a powerhouse team, and I love watching the robot
They
play.
just take that. It goes. The cone just goes so much. Right there as we're watching, the cone just stays so low.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's incredible.
So two things to comment with Jack in the Bot. One, another comment that we had a little bit off air too is you look at Robonauts to Jack in the Bot. There's a big gap there, right? Let's be honest. In regards to where Jack in the Bot's ability is for that. I mean, God, they look so good. I got to see them in person at P&W a couple weeks ago. By the way, huge shout out to Sushi Squad, their alliance partners, for getting a win. Very well deserved for that as well too. A team that has been very well deserving of a win for a long time as well. But Jack in the Bot, getting to watch them in person, I'm telling you, it on the webcast does not do it justice for how freaking quick this robot is.
And they look like they're in fast forward on the webcast.
Yeah.
That's the
They
crazy
do.
part.
That's
Also,
how you
Sushi
know
Squad was
something's
a
up.
premier night team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Sushi Squad's one of our premier Open Alliance teams as well too. They've been doing awesome stuff from there. Oh yeah, big shout out on chat. It's Crazy Fish saying they call their auto elevator Yoshi Tongue as well too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Because it does. It just takes it right back in.
Yeah. I
I'm
won't do
just
that.
mesmerized watching it on the stream. Look at it go. Wow.
Mhm.
All right. So that was Jack in the Bot. In the third spot, I have team 1577 from Hammercast Israel. It's Steampunk, 41-8 overall, and with the winners of the Israeli District Championship. So Steampunk is a great example of the growth of the team over the last few years. They've gotten better and better and came out of the gate strong with the undefeated win at their first district event. After a bit of a stumble at their second event, they hit the field ready to take the Israel Championship. In 11 matches, they earned an impressive 37 ranking points to earn the number 1 seed. They selected fellow powerhouse 1690 and added 5135 at the end of the draft. I think this alliance gave us a little preview of what we can expect at the other upcoming DCMPs, where they scored on average over 170 points, which is wild when you consider the top score in the game is like around in the 190s. So super impressive from the smooth scoring robot, and good luck to them with the World Championship. 1577 Steampunk.
Wild.
They're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say they beat us last year on our field, and it's a team that just doesn't give up. They're so resilient, and they're just #solid. I definitely feel them.
I want to go back just on a second on here. Watch this play that they do here in a second. They're going to score this cone over on the left-hand side and immediately notice that cube right there and just push that in. That is just the driver awareness that is, watch that. It's like comes over, 69 shoots it just right in right away. That is incredible driver awareness out there. Just great cooperation between 1577 and 1690. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about Israel for so long and how good these teams have gotten. And of course, it's not just 1577, 1690, but these teams are absolutely incredible. And for what 1690 is on the complex side, 1577 brings, I think, in the simplicity and elegance. To me, they're the 2056 of Israel for things, and just absolutely phenomenal. I love both these teams. They've been doing so awesome.
Yeah, one of the things that struck me when I was watching some of those matches, our team has played 2 events at this point. One of the things you try to do pre-match is try to maybe organize a little bit of flow with how the alliance is going to enter the grid, leave the grid, things like that. When the match starts, it really falls apart, right? It's a pretty dynamic game. So you can see watching Orbit and Steampunk, they almost never get in each other's way. And that's not a pre-planned thing. That's just more driver awareness. They kind of look up, see where each other's at, and it's not a verbal thing. It's just like, yep, you're going to go this way, I'm going to go that way. And they stay out of each other's way, and that's just something that really can't be taught. It can only be, thoroughly practiced, and their alliance was doing it so well. I was so impressed.
At what point do they add do teams add sensors that are on a drone or something like that, where it's like all of a sudden they detect another robot's nearby and they swim around, like Mike on your drone, right? Like that they have the cameras on it where they can sense if an object's in the way and they just navigate around.
Yeah, just say stop. Yeah, yep.
Also, this game more than others has been insane to watch. For usually offensive robots just absolutely destroying the ankles of a defensive robot. Like they kind of go one way, spin around the other way, and they're just like,
just breaking ankles out there. Yeah,
it's so good. I love watching it.
By the way,
it will be wild to see the fancy.
Go ahead, Christine.
Go ahead. I was just say the fancy footwork of some of these crazy, are we watching fast forward robots like Jack in the Bot and even some of the taller robots we're seeing that are swerving around, even though they're not, that low CG. But yeah, it will be. I'm excited to see the the level of offensive swerve driving that will meet up with some of the like, you know, world-class defense robots that are going to be heading to Houston.
Definitely.
I was just going to have a sequitur, by the way. So for me, I was just going to remind people to make sure you type in GOAT in chat for that opportunity to win the T-shirt, the actual Andy Mark GOAT, and the sticker pack as well, too. And we'll be drawing for that giveaway right after our number 1 seed.
All right. All the drama is in the 2 spot. And in that spot, we have team number 1678 from Davis, California. Davis Senior High School. It's the Citrus Circuits. 33 wins, 2 losses, and a tie overall, and with the winners of the Windham Port and Sacramento Regionals. So Citrus was a perfect 15-0, undefeated at Sacramento, and somehow that only earned them the 2 seed. Citrus uses a wide intake and a telescoping arm to quickly and effectively score cubes from the floor and shelf and cones all over. One thing that I noticed more watching them this weekend that I really liked was the use of their forklift endgame mechanism. They used it a lot more this past weekend than they did at Windham, and it really was a huge advantage to them. And I think it's going to even prove to be more and more useful for them as the season progresses. So their alliance partners and them cruise to the playoffs, not really facing a serious challenge as Citrus cruise to yet another blue banner. Congrats to them, and the regional season is not over, and they'll round it out a few weeks at Sacramento.
So as far as this is a side conversation,
sorry, SBR.
I was like seeing that forklift, triple balance is just amazing and so cool. As a side conversation, do you think that will be cheesecaked? That you give that to your third robot, or would you? Not saying necessarily 1678, but I'm saying other teams. Do you think that teams would trust teams to be able to do that, or you would rather have them stay up and you do the forklift lift?
I mean, I don't know if you can really cheesecake teams anymore in that sense that we used to be able to do.
Yeah, the rules are kind of stingy that
way. Are they?
Okay,
I think
that you're going to see. I think you're going to see. Yeah. No, but I think you're going to see a lot of teams that, especially maybe like a mid performing team that's looking for something to kind of, boost the attractiveness of their robot for playoffs at Worlds. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of these, things added on. Things like the 118 catapult. I don't know if you noticed in the Windham Windup video, they have like a cube grabber that shoots cubes as well, in addition to their arm. So teams are finding these little mechanisms to add to their robots to try to make them more competitive as the season goes on.
I love watching Citrus every year. They have something that's unique and so effective, and just watching that just go down is really cool. And congrats to Citrus, man, another fantastic year. I was over in Sacramento right during COVID. I could not get over to their facility. I just didn't work out, but congratulations to them.
The one thing I would say with Citrus, we talked about them using their forks a lot more. They still are a little slow to line up for that, from what I've seen. So it definitely looks like it's a completely manual process. I don't know how you'd make that automated or anything like that, but like it does seem like that's definitely not their forte, is doing that. Like they can do it, but watching a lot of their videos, it was about a 10 to 15 second lineup and delivery still for something like that. So have they done it quicker in matches? Yes, but I think on a constant level, they're still around like that 10 second or so. But I think for them, the key is how do you get that to be like they can just line up in sub 5 seconds, go.
Well, when your grid is full by the end of the match.
yeah, you might not matter, right? So.
When you got time to burn and not a whole lot else to do.
Yeah. All right. So thanks everyone for that good discussion on 1678. But this week, the top spot, number 1, goes to Team 254 from San Jose, California. Bellarmine College Prep. It's the Hall of Fame Cheesy Poofs, 14-1 overall, and with the winners of the Sacramento Regional. So it's been 4 long weeks for the FRC community. We had to wait to see what the 254 machine was looking like this season. As we dissected the picture they posted, 254 is ready to show their stuff on the field. When it comes down to it, this is a controls game, and their mechanical systems are so fast and smooth. Exactly what we would expect from 254, certainly. But after receiving so many great teams this season, right? We had to wait 4 weeks. We've seen thousands of robots at this point. 254 was still, in my opinion, able to look a cut above everyone else. At Sacramento, they were able to seed 1, barely eking out 1678. But they wouldn't have to wait long to select them to their alliance, and adding 3189, they were able to take the regional win in 5 straight matches. So I think 254 is well deserved of the number 1 spot this week, and they will for sure be in the conversation as the top charged up team this season. So you can catch them again week 6 at Silicon Valley, and congrats to 254, the Cheesy Poofs.
Yeah, what really separates these top 5 teams is not just these specific top 5 teams, but top 5 to 10 teams in general, is one of my opinions is how your robot does in all aspects of the game. That's kind of what I was mentioning earlier. Their driving, their swerving around defense, their delivery of game pieces to the grid, their smart heads up, game sense, gameplay, game driving, all that stuff, and all put together is really what makes them so elite. And just another year where they're just completely dominating. And it was really cool to see again. I always love their first peak at their first event.
Yeah, and seeing their, we've talked a lot about fast forward. Their robot is fast, certainly, but to me, it's their elevator up and out that looks like it's in fast forward and so much faster than what we've seen from a lot of other teams. I'm just so impressed by that. It's not easy to control heavy, fast moving mechanisms like that, and they just do it so well.
It's almost like if you blink, you miss it with their elevator and like telescoping arm just popping out and being like, we're this far out. Like, oh, you want that one? I'll get that one for you. Like this Poofs robot is probably one of the first I want to go like try to battle my way through the pits to go and see in person. I do every year, but this year especially, I'm really curious to see it in person. It's especially tough sometimes on the webcast this year, I think, to get a true look at like the reality of the mechanisms that are on these robots, and especially with teams like 1323 and 254 that you're watching it on a webcast and you're like, oh, these are both so fast and so quick, and they're both tall elevators. I want to see it in person. I'm impressed with the like first event that the Poofs had this year. I think they had an absolutely like blowout showing. They're so smooth, and it's wild to think that they have another event and then champs, and it's only just going to get crazier to watch probably.
Well,
so, and I'm
I'll
sure.
Tell you what, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sure 1678 being an awesome perfect alliance partner too didn't help with or didn't harm with looking too like so fast and so slick at their first event. But I'm excited about this Poofs robot. Probably more excited than I have been in a few years for the robots.
So I would say, if you want a close-up look, just go with Tyler when he does behind the bumpers at championship, because last year they made us this wall of poofs of their kids out in front, and just they gave us like this whole like bubble so we could like take as much time as we
It was
wanted.
great for an interview. I'll tell you that.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
The one thing with Poofs Robot, what I think personally sets them apart is their acquisition of cubes and cones. If you watch them when they go to the stations to get them, they're not hesitating. It's really up, grab, go. And so many other teams, it's a multi-stage process to get there. Like they're there, they got to move a little bit, then they get it, or they're there, and then the cone slides down. All that time is taken out with 254. Yes, their scoring is extremely fast, and I definitely like that as well. But I think what truly sets them apart is how they're actually intaking pieces. They're saving even a half to 1 second per cycle, and that adds to 1 or 2 more cycles per match. That's what I think really sets 254 apart.
And I think that's a really good thing to point out, Tyler. And I was going to say, like, I think a lot of the teams that were really impressed by, Jack in the Bot and stuff, they are typically doing like a, ground pickup or something like that. But Poofs are touch it, own it, regardless of where they're picking it up. And there's not many other teams that are matching that right now. And that was after their first event.
Crazy. Let's go ahead and draw for the giveaway from our friends at AnnieMark once again. So if you do win, you're getting just a reminder, the AnnieMark goat shirt, as well as the goat itself, and an awesome sticker pack as well too. So if you do win, please shoot myself First Updates Now a message either on Twitch or on Discord. Come find me on there with all your information, first name, last name, mailing address, and t-shirt size, and email as well too, so we can get that out to AnnieMark. The winner of this is going to be Howard Bartlett, congratulations. Howard is a subscriber, so lots of rigged emotes in chat. Clearly, we rigged it for Howard to win. That's just how it is. So lots and lots of rigged emotes in chat, please, for Howard. And Howard, congratulations to you. Thanks a lot to Annie Mark for the awesome giveaway. Hey, a couple things just to go through. Just want to see where everybody's going to be this week. I'm going to be out at the Las Vegas Regional. This is the first week since week 0. I'm only at one event. So it's a break for me, kind of. So I'll be emceeing out there. So one event I still MC. So I hope to see many of you out there at that event, or make sure you check out the Las Vegas Regional webcast as well. Justin, are you at anywhere, or what events are you maybe going to be watching?
Yeah, so we're leaving tomorrow for Albany, New York. So we're competing at the Tech Valley Regional with some good teams from New York. So we're excited about that. So that's where most of my attention will be. But I'm jealous of you in Las Vegas. You're going to have a great time. Seamless looks really strong. So it's going to be a blast.
Christine, how about for you? Any events you might have your eyes on? Or is it a break week for you?
So the NUTRONs are not. Yeah, what a treat. So the NUTRONs are not competing actively this weekend. We're probably redoing our intake for the billionth time and unexpectedly getting prepared for our Impact Award presentation at District Champs. But I'll definitely be keeping an eye on WPI this weekend, maybe taking a stop down there. I know our friends on 195 are going to be competing at the Hartford District event. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on some New England stuff more than other places, except for, I'm going to be keeping an eye on Justin and Ranger Robotics. I want to get me some Ranger Robotics swag this year. But definitely
I'm the guy to
taking a little bit of a break. Yeah.
Mike,
what about you? You just moved into a house.
Yeah. We're working on it. Yes. Still, we'll be trying to catch here and there some matches. Keep an eye on Tyler over in Vegas. Always love to see you on the field, man. Hear your voice. It's always good. Obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on Justin as well, and kind of just see what's going on all around there too. It's just like trying to tune in these last couple of weeks, like going to game day on Blue Alliance. There is a crap ton of events that are happening each and every week. Like it is so many. It is over to the point where it's like, I don't know what to watch because there's just too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like if you had some sort of system or TBA advanced to like some sort of like cut to this kind of thing, where they could put mods in charge of like, clicking through to different matches, that would be great. Yeah, something like exactly.
FRC Red Zone.
Yeah, that could be a channel that they have. Yeah, TVA Red Zone, and then but yeah. So so that'll be what I got going on.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the FRC Top 25 for Week 4, and especially thank you to our voters. Don't forget to vote. Voting will come out on Sunday. I'm flying back on Sunday, so the voting will probably open up early. So keep an eye out for that. We'll make a post for it at firstupdatesnow.com/FRC Top 25, or you can get the link in our Discord or on Cheat Delphi, or if you just go to firstupdatesnow.com, there's now a button for you to click to vote on the FRC Top 25, so you don't have an excuse. By the way, just a quick editorial now. We're probably not going to be doing the region ones. Honestly, it's just kind of overwhelming to us to do from a data standpoint, so we're probably just going to stick to the main areas. So thank you, everybody, for that and for tuning in. Don't forget the FRC Top 25 will air on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. We still got a couple more to go as well, too. We wish all teams best of luck in Week 5. Don't forget to vote, and thank you to all of everybody who's subscribed and followed us well. Just want to give a couple quick shout-outs to Ultimate Glitch, the Dandelions, Aladi 5, Ryoka. For some reason, I can't scroll very well. NYCTL, Tall 618, Brando, Nick Jr., Mike for resubbing as well too. Thanks, buddy. But and everybody, if we didn't catch you, thank you so much for your subs and bits. It really does help us out, and we really appreciate you helping keep fun, loud, live, and independent. So that's going to wrap us up here on the FRC Top 25. We wish all teams best of luck in week number 5. Good luck, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Fun. Talk to you then. This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. If your team is using SolidWorks, make sure you log into the 3D Experience platform to gain access to tutorials, collaborate with other users, and download the Charge Up field and kit up parts. Go to solidworks.com/first and click on Log into 3D Experience platform to gain access. The Charged Up competition season is here. We have a ton of live Twitch and YouTube content coming to you. All of our uploads and archives, including shows, behind the bumpers, Finalysis, and more, are available at youtube.com/firstupdatesnow. Check out all of our live shows on Mondays and Tuesdays at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow. And check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.